Hey everyone, happy Good Soup Friday. We have a very special episode for you all today. Unfortunately, Julia and I were not able to actually get together this week to record, so we decided to dust off an old can for you. This is our original pilot episode that we recorded, our very first episode ever of Good Soup. And we recorded it in the summer of 2023. So some of what we're talking about may be a little outdated, but it's a really fun episode. We talk about what our brand would be if we were to try to describe each other as a product that we were selling. You'll hear our very first ever soup of the day. And just some other fun things sprinkled in there. So, of course, there's always the shenanigans, and there's always the wheezing. That is guaranteed every time. So we hope you enjoy this dusty can of good soup.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
I feel like this is such a cute little intro to like a song where it's like, all right, you ready?
All right, you ready?
And the little guitar lick. Soup.
Soup? Seriously? Soup.
Okay, and hey everybody, welcome. See, this is what I'm talking about. I knew I was going to do that. I knew how I wanted to start it. And then I knew you were going to laugh. I knew that it was going to be impossible to start it because I wanted to go, hey, everybody. Welcome to Good Soup.
Hey, everybody. Welcome
to Good Soup. We need to work on that. I want it to be more in tandem. The podcast where we talk about things that are good and things that are soup.
Soupy.
Soupy.
Soup.
Yeah.
Soup meaning everything.
Also actual soup, because
Also
I
actual
do
soup.
tend to like soup as a concept. So anyway, welcome to Good Soup.
Welcome to Good Soup.
All right.
This is
what,
crazy.
What kind of soup are you feeling today?
What kind of to eat or
It's pretty clear we didn't talk about this
No,
beforehand.
we didn't. No.
So one of the concepts we threw out there was, I think your concept was to try and telepathically think of the same soup at the same time and yell it at the same time.
Yes.
But what I'm thinking is that we correspond a soup to our mood and be like, what kind of soup are you feeling today? And then it's like, I feel this way. And then you have to explain why.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what you're feeling? Okay,
I do.
you go
I was
first.
thinking about this in the car on the way over here, actually. I have decided noodle soup. Do you know what I'm talking about from Friends?
Yes.
Where Joey like can't not say noodle soup. Okay. Anyway, not that though. That's not how I'm feeling. Today I'm feeling a spicy chicken tortilla soup, like the one from Chick-fil-A.
She be feeling spicy, yo.
I be feeling spicy today, but also not like but also not like a genuine like craftsman style soup, like a homemade soup. I'm feeling like a fast food soup.
Okay.
Because it's like I get the job done, I'm doing the thing, I taste all right, but it's like but it's like on the base layer, do I have any flavor? Like not really, but I just have a lot of hot sauce in me. So it's like you can't really tell that there's no flavor because of how spicy it is. So
wow.
That's how I feel today. I feel spicy, but with no real flavor, no real substance. I feel fast food spicy.
Soup just got real.
You better keep up with me, Barley Camp, because I'm taking this to an unprecedented level.
We're going unhinged.
Soup emotions.
We're going bowlless soup right now. Just soup everywhere. Just Kevin with the chili, just.
And then we're taking the clipboard and just, you're trying to keep it in. It's not staying in.
It's not staying in. Oh, man.
You don't have to go as hard as I just went, but.
Dang.
Hmm.
First, I need to know how I'm feeling today.
Yeah, I went to therapy today before I came here, so that's partially why I
Mhm.
think I'm able to give like such a
Yeah.
fully like nuanced description of how I'm feeling, because I've been forced to tap into that in a uncomfortable way already today. So I'm there.
Okay, I got you one.
Okay.
I'm feeling like I don't know if this is a universal soup, but this is a soup my mom makes, and this is the one that's popping in my head. So it's like a turkey meatball wedding soup.
You
You
I
know?
think Italian wedding soup is a thing.
Yes, Italian wedding soup. Maybe she makes it with turkey meatballs.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Instead of like regular meatballs,
Like beef.
beef balls.
Okay. Just the way that you don't know what's in meatballs right now is a little bit funny.
Well, there's different things like you could have.
Okay, let's just move on. Yes,
You could
traditionally,
have pork balls. You could have.
traditionally, I feel like meatballs are made with like pork and beef.
Okay.
But your mom makes it with turkey.
She does.
It sounds delicious.
It is delicious.
Okay, also side note, Chris's mom makes red hot applesauce that is also
Guys.
delicious.
Guys.
Like applesauce with the candy red hots in it, so it's
Yeah.
like bright red
Yeah.
and like cinnamon spicy. It's
Yeah.
the bomb. It's so good.
It's probably one of my core memories from childhood is that cinnamon hot applesauce.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Like-
It's one of mine. I had never had it before until I was an adult, and I'm like, this is my childhood.
This woman, let me just tell you what. First of all, she would usually like home make the applesauce, so she would peel the apples, boil them, whatever, do all that
Already
stuff.
so much.
Right? Yeah, already so much.
What are we, a little house on the prairie over here?
That's what I'm saying. So, she would do that, and then she would take like a big bag of like the red hots that you cook with or that you bake with or whatever, and just dump them in the blender with applesauce, and then she heats it up so it's served warm
Oh yeah.
red hot applesauce.
Anyway, so she also makes the turkey
Yes.
wedding soup, which sounds
Turkey-
also delicious.
Yeah, Italian wedding soup. Yes, so it's got like this, it's a really flavorful broth, but it's clear and it's light and it's not super super heavy. And then she puts like rice and some probably like frozen vegetables or something like in there, the turkey meatballs, and then some like spices, like I think there's like parsley floating around in there, so it feels like when you eat it, it's satisfying, but it's also fairly light, so you don't feel like super like I gotta go take a nap after I eat this, but it's also really good, really flavorful. And I just feel like wedding soup is for celebrating. Like,
Yes.
it's in the name,
What are you celebrating today?
My parents are coming tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like, in a way, there's a lot of stuff, a substantial amount of stuff I got to get done before they get here. But I'm also feeling like kind of light and fluid and like, ooh, yay, I'm so excited they're coming and we're going to celebrate
Ooh,
when they get here.
I love that.
That
Good
didn't really
job.
make sense, but
It made sense to me, and that's all
Okay.
that matters.
It's great.
We're on a
this is
soup
why
plane together.
we are. Soups on a plane.
Soup snakes.
Soup snakes. I'm just realizing how many things there are in our lives that somehow we can bring it back to soup, and it
really is the crux of all life. Really,
soup
is water. What is water if not a soup?
Explain it. Somebody explain
The
it.
basis of all life is a soup. So, part of the goal of this first episode of the podcast was to kind of introduce us, get to know us.
Yes.
As your podcast host. But I feel like this whole past 10 minutes of conversation has kind of been a good introduction to
Oh,
our actual life conversations.
okay. Yes, that's true.
What are the 5 things that you would tell people to sort of explain your brand as a
Mhm.
person?
Mm-hmm.
Now, do we actually have a brand as people? Probably not. But if we were
Absolutely
we
not.
were to be like marketed as a product, and
Mhm.
it's like, what is the brand? What is the
Mm-hmm.
can I say our names?
What is the Julia?
What is the Julia brand?
Yeah.
What is the Chris brand?
Uh-huh.
And what things represent the brand?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of a quick way to
Mm-hmm.
dip real quick into the personality
For
of
sure.
each other.
For sure. Do you want to go first?
Um,
Wait, are we saying each other's or are we saying our own?
Okay, that was the thing that I thought of literally just now. Again, no thought. I don't think it's really fair because I told you some of mine, but I was gonna say
I don't remember them.
we should tell each other what we think the other person's brand
Yes.
is by like knowing each other from the
Yeah.
outside.
And I think we should do that first.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I'll give you some time to think. I did think of 2 for you. I gotta think of 3 more. So the
Okay.
first one that I think explains Chris's brand is the Muppets.
Dude, I knew it. Okay, I had to tell you this story, literally, because
Okay.
this is what I was going to say right before you started going into this whole thing. So, literally today, I have a playlist called A Jukebox Named Julia,
Oh,
and it's all the songs you send me.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
I know. And it's got a little fire emoji.
Ah.
Yeah, because they're flames. So I put that playlist on today to get inspo for Good Soup, and JJ Heller's version of Rainbow Connection came on.
Oh.
You kind of got to be in like the right mood because it's very kind of cinematic and it's got the orchestra behind it. It's a very sweet sounding song. But I was listening to it and I was singing along with it. It got to the last verse where it like modulates up and she's talking about how there's a line where it says it's something that I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Did you
couldn't
cry?
I couldn't after that. Yeah. I welled up tears. I was literally standing in my room all by myself singing this song that's playing through my headphones, by the way. It's not even playing like in a speaker.
Yeah.
So my roommate's probably like, what is she doing? But yeah, yep.
I feel like I've seen you cry or heard you talk about crying to Rainbow Connection on multiple occasions. So this is not really a surprise to me, but it does fit in really perfectly that it happened today.
It really gets me.
Yeah.
It really
and
does.
I feel now really solid that I said that it's part of your brand because
You
if
do.
that was your moment of like this
Yeah.
encapsulates me as a person,
Yeah.
I feel like that's accurate.
Yeah. For reals.
Um,
Okay. So Muppets.
Yes, Muppets. She has a lot of Muppets paraphernalia,
Mhm.
merch items, and also it is not uncommon to get into Chris's car and hear just unironic Muppet soundtrack songs just playing, and it's not even like, oh, look at this funny tongue-in-cheek like thing. Like she's like jamming, like this is actually music that she
Actually,
listens to, and it's wonderful, and I love it. But you're just really into the Muppets, and I feel like that makes sense to you as a person.
It does.
Okay, and the second thing is Ohio. I feel like
I don't know when that happened. Okay,
I feel like
everyone.
Chris-
I don't know when it happened,
Chris is
but it
from
happened.
Ohio,
It happened.
and if you know her long enough, she will make it known that she's from Ohio. She loves talking about other people from Ohio, or not talking about, but when she meets someone and she finds out they're from Ohio, the joy is unparalleled. She just loves being from Ohio and talking.
do.
Like it just is really clear that like being from Ohio is a big part of your identity and your personality. And like bands that are from Ohio, like if we're listening to a band in the car, you're like, they're from Ohio. Like you're like so
Shout out
excited
21
about it.
Pilots. Like that's the only one I know really.
And Reliant K.
Oh, and Reliant K. Oh, obvi.
Yeah. And like it just is like
Mhm.
yeah, like you're from there. I was gonna say I feel like this I don't want this to be like too like oh, like this is a thing that you do. I was just gonna say crying. If you talk to Chris for long enough, she will
Yeah.
probably cry. And it's
Yeah.
a wonderful thing. That is not a
Mhm.
criticism or a bad thing. But I feel like as far as just like trying to summarize that part of your brand, I would
Mhm.
say just crying
Yeah.
is like
And like it's sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's a happy cry. Sometimes it's a sad cry. Sometimes it's like I don't know
it's
why
just-
I'm crying.
I think
but
you just feel things so deeply and
Mhm.
like if you just are feeling something,
Mhm.
your body's like natural response is just like
cry.
yeah, a
Yeah.
tear.
Mhm.
Okay. And then the fourth thing is like specifically like music from the 80s. Anything that has like kind of a slap and bass line and like some techno
Dude.
things. Like it's very easy once you've spent enough time with her and listened to enough of music that she like is like, oh, this is a song. Like this is my jam.
Mhm.
It's easy to pick out like what things she'll like. Like I'll hear a song and be like, Chris is gonna love this, and it's usually something with like a heavy bass and like that kind of 80s techno sound.
Mhm.
Like I feel like that really kind of encapsulates you as a person. I keep saying
Yeah.
encapsulate. That's
I mean, that's-
vocab word of the day.
Yeah.
Good soup vocab.
Good soup vocab.
Yeah, so. And then number 5. Oh. I've said this to you before, and you didn't really agree with me, and that's fine. This is just my perception of your brand.
Mhm.
This is not something you have to own.
Okay.
Obviously, none of these things are.
Obviously.
The color orange. I feel
okay,
like
yes. This is so interesting to me.
So I don't know if you guys have ever, I like how I'm talking like there's another group of people here. Like it is literally just us.
No,
but
it's
I'm
all
like,
our
if
listeners.
anybody is listening and you've seen that the like Instagram reel trend where it's like things that are, I don't even know how to describe it. Things that are me according to my friends. And it's like, if I were a Disney princess, if I were a season, if I were an element, and or if I were a color. And so I had watched somebody's, reel of that, and I was just thinking about Chris and what she would be, and I was just like, Chris is like a pumpkin orange color to me in my mind. And that's not like one of her favorite colors. It's not even a color that she wears a lot or has a lot of, but for me, in my mind, Chris is pumpkin orange. She's warm and deep and comforting and nostalgic and evocative of fall and the 70s.
Ooh, I like that.
And yeah, so to me, that is your brand. What is it? Muppets? Muppets, Ohio, crying,
80s tunes.
80s tunes, and
Pumpkin orange.
Pumpkin orange. Also, I would like to say that this was done with no previous forethought other than we should do this. So I have not sat on these things for a long time. So
same. But I feel like you would say that again.
Yeah, probably.
I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
So
Such an interesting mix of things.
have you thought about what do you want to do what you think I would be, or do
Yes.
you want to just tell me what yours are?
No, I'm gonna do what I think yours would be.
Okay.
Okay, so number 1, you're probably not gonna like this, but
I think I know what it is. I think I'm emotionally prepared.
number 1 is flowers.
Oh, no, that's not what I was thinking
Oh,
of, but I
no?
love
Okay,
that.
okay.
Yes.
Well, because it's funny because every time Julia sees something like in the store that she likes, it's got that like really kind of like dainty, kind of like reminiscent of old wallpaper floral pattern on it in a good way. Like not in a good way. Not like gaudy, it's just kind of like nice and like delicate and kind of pastel-y. But I feel like she's always like like, I just don't want to like this because I have so much of it. Like,
I have said that before. I've complained because
floral.
The things that my eye is attracted to are all the same. Like, I have no variety of taste, and so a lot of my clothes, a lot of my like home decor choices, all end up looking the same because I like flowers, and if there's a flower on something, my brain is like, ooh, I like that. That's nice. That's pretty. And so I sometimes do get frustrated because I'm trying to train myself to pick out things that don't immediately give my brain that like serotonin boost that floral things do in an effort to kind of diversify just everything in my house and my wardrobe.
Yeah.
But no, I don't mind that being, I would say that's pretty accurate.
Okay.
That'd be part of my brand.
Number 2, I think this is what you thought I was going to say first. But I'm going to say it now.
Okay.
And I know you're not going to like it. I know, hundo, you're not going to like it. Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No,
I know
knew that's
you
what you were
like
going to
it,
say. I knew that's what you were going to say.
I know you don't like people knowing about you that Taylor Swift is something
such
that
a big part of my brain. I just don't like to admit that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, because I think you like to, no offense, there's a certain niche of Taylor Swift fans that are not always the most enjoyable people to be around.
Yeah, no offense taken.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why I think
like, I'm saying that you are not one of them.
Thank you.
Like, there are separate categories of Taylor Swift fans.
Swifties.
Yes, sorry, excuse me. And they're all going to come after me after this. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a wide base of fans that they kind of section off into different sects of, like, there's this group of Swifties and there's this group of Swifties. And I think you don't want to be a particular group of Swifties.
Yeah.
Which you're not, but I think just immediately, I think when you feel like if people know that you are a Swiftie, their brain goes to the worst group.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
And I think like that's a more like subconscious. Like I'm not actively like worried about people compartmentalizing me, but I acknowledge that that's like a thing. And I also just like everybody's really into Taylor Swift right now, and that's great. Like good for her. Like get that bag. Like enjoy your life.
Eat it up.
But like I don't know. I just have a problem. Like I don't want to seem basic. Like I don't want to seem like like I just have like vanilla music taste, which I kind of do. Like I'm not. I'm not like. I have to accept reality for what it is. And the reality is I love Taylor Swift, and she is a huge part of what I guess my brand would be, because I've been a fan for a really long time. I've been a fan since I was like 12 years old. And it's hard to hide when you're an excited fan about something like that. But I think we're both on the same page of just like, people just make a lot of assumptions about you when you're like, I love Taylor Swift.
For sure.
And it's like, I just want to come off more like niche and cool girl. And like, I shouldn't care what people think anyway. Yeah. But I am also wearing a Taylor Swift shirt literally right now. I am wearing my Eras Tour t-shirt that I bought online. We're going this weekend.
We are. We're going on Sunday.
I just can't believe that.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
There's no denying it. There's no covering it up. It's
I
part
feel
of
like
the brand.
I feel like I am a semi-Swiftie.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of on the outskirts of really being a Swiftie. I'm not a Swiftie, but I'm not a Swiftie.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of a, what do they call that? Quasi-Swiftie?
You think you're creating terminology that does not yet exist.
Quasi is actually a real thing.
Oh, no, I know quasi or quasi or whatever it is. I know that's a real thing, but a quasi-Swiftie or a quasi-Swiftie is not a term that I've heard coined yet.
Let's start it for all my other Swiftie adjacents out there, where you have someone in your life that is a Swiftie. And like I said, you're not a Swiftie.
You're kind of along for the ride.
Yeah.
Yes.
Quasi-Swifts.
Yes. You're leading the fan base.
Quasi-Swifts. There's got to be a quippier way to say that.
Quasi-Swift.
Quasi-Swift.
Like a croissant.
Like a croissant. Croissant. Okay, moving on.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay, so Taylor Swift number 2.
It's actually kind of hard, honestly.
It is kind of hard. Books. Just a big old shelf of them.
I have no
big old shelf of books.
Big old shelf.
Yes. Books,
love a book.
because you read a ton.
I try.
You read a ton. You read super fast. I tell you this all the time, and you're like, I don't read that fast. And I'm like, you read way faster than I do.
I don't feel like once you get into like the book, which is so dumb, like the social media, like the book reading world, and people are like people are just crazy fast readers in the community, and so compared to them, I'm very slow. And people listen to audiobooks on like 2 or 3 times speed.
Dude,
and it's I'm not that good of a listener either.
No.
So I feel like I read at a normal pace. Maybe good for the average person, low for an avid reader.
Okay.
Speed wise.
I feel like that's fair.
Anyway, hopefully we'll be talking more about book content in the future.
For sure. How do I want to say this one? Without it sounding too like...
Well, I said crying, so you're allowed to say something that sort of could be interpreted as not so
No,
great.
it's like I want to squeeze the thought I'm having into one word. I guess shepherding is the best word I can think of.
Aww,
yeah, you're
that's
a shepherd.
nice.
Like, I just feel like you are really good at listening, and you're really good at empathizing, but you're also like really good at comforting and knowing what to say, when to say it, and then also not saying things when it's just not like the time for it or whatever, you know? And I feel like you really, especially in the last few weeks, have been really good about kind of like, you know, because we've been having a lot of conversations, right? And I feel like you've just been really good at like kind of like jabbing me in the right ways, like, you know, like kind of like a sheep, you know, when a shepherd is shepherding
the sheep.
Sheeping the sheep. Yeah, it's like sometimes you gotta really kind of like, you know, get in there and like, you don't hurt them, but you, like, they just need to know, like, this is the way I gotta go. And, like,
gotcha.
you know, just, like, you apply enough pressure to communicate, hey, idiot, you're going the wrong way.
Okay. I don't say that.
She never calls me an idiot, but sometimes that's what I feel
Not
like.
to your
so.
face.
Hey-o!
That was a joke. See, the other problem with me is that I say jokes that I sound really personal in the moment, but I'm just saying them because the joke pops into my head, not because I feel that way.
Yeah, no.
But I think that's anyway.
So yeah.
That was such a great way to end how shepherding I am, and I'm like, none to your face.
Yeah, I don't say it to your face. Okay, one more. 2 minutes. Soup?
Seriously? Okay.
Oh, man.
For those who are unaware, I have a reputation for my love of soup, and I don't know why, and it feels very weird.
Somehow, some way.
It is so weird that multiple people have recognized that I have a liking for soup, and that feels weird. I feel like I like soup a normal amount, but anyway.
This one's kind of a left fielder, but it popped in my head, so I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
Kids.
Love it.
I feel like you love kids.
I have no kids, but
yeah, no, you have no kids, but I feel like you love kids, and you have that special thing that people really need in order to deal with kids and actually, like,
medication. Okay. strong medication.
Medicated. No, but you know what I'm
kidding.
saying? Like, you can spend copious amounts of time with kids, and you're just great at it.
Aw.
And, like, I mean, kids are cool, but at a certain point, I'm like,
get away from me.
Yeah, I'm
Sticky
dipping.
fingers.
Like, I just get so tired. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, you know?
Kids are exhausting.
I mean, but I feel like you have that, like, certain tenacity that people with or that are going to be around kids a lot have to have.
No, I love that. It's actually kind of funny that you say that, though, because, like, a lot of, like, and this is, if we have random listeners who don't actually know us or our background, this is going to be really weird. But we both went to like a church school, like a super spiritual kind of.
Me and Julia.
Yes,
yeah.
Holy Spirit sort of. I don't know, like a little bit woo woo, kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
A little bit woo woo.
Just like, it's a very, like, charismatic. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yes,
a charismatic,
yes.
like, spiritual church. And so there was a occasion where I was being prayed over, and people were offering, like, spiritual words of, like, here's what I feel like God is saying about you. And like, every single person said something about mom or being a mother. And so it's not off. You're like, it's way out of left field, but it's not off. Like, I don't have any children of my own, but for whatever reason, people who know me, people who don't know me, I give off a mom vibe. I just do.
You
and
do.
I
And I think that kind of piggybacks off the shepherding thing. Like, you just are, you know.
see, you're so thoughtful. Oh my God.
Thank you.
That's
you
so
know,
nice.
it's just-
Well, this has been good soup.
and
That's our branding
good
episode.
Soup.
Oh.
This is our our establishment episode.
Yes, that's a really good name for it. This
Thank
is
you.
our establishment episode, getting to know us.
EST.
And hopefully we'll hear you all here next week.
Hopefully we'll hear you all hearing us next time.
Bye.
Bye.